In the Vedic traditions, there are three main states of consciousness. So we have the waking state that I'm operating in to speak to you now. We have the dream-like state when we're asleep. For a lot of the time that we're asleep, we're dreaming. And then we have the deep dream state. Apart from that, there is the fourth state, which is known as the fourth, or in Sanskrit, Turiya. And that's the state that can be obtained by those who enter into a very deep state of meditation. They can enter into what's known as samadhi or nirvana, that state which is beyond the four normal states of consciousness. But it struck me that forgetting is a big part of this. Now, we know that probably 99.9% of the dreams that we have every night when we go to sleep, we will never remember them. It is like our complete memory of those dreams is completely erased and eradicated. But this is very similar to the fact that when we enter into this life, anything from any life beyond that, before it, any lives that we've had before, any other states that we've been in before, are completely erased and eradicated. Sometimes a little tiny bit of that might come through. Some people speak of memories of past lives and things like that, but it's the exception. A little bit like we get snippets of dreams at times. When we look at the Taoist tradition of Zuowang meditation, it's about sitting and forgetting. And it's only in forgetting and leaving behind this conscious existence that we're experiencing at the moment that we truly enter into that deep state of meditation. We have to literally forget that which we are a part of now, that which we are experiencing. All of this life here, to really enter into that deep state of meditation, we have to just leave it all behind and forget it all. So Zuowang is literally to sit and to forget. That is what we're trying to achieve, and we're trying to almost emulate that state through which we traverse these different states of consciousness. So we're going, as I say, from the waking state to the dreaming state, from the dreaming state to the deep sleep state, and of course we try in meditation often to reach that deep state of Turiya through samadhi, where we actually transcend this existence. So really, it's all the case. Forgetting is a big part of it. So forgetting, generally, we often think of it as a negative thing, to forget things, because we want to try to remember things and have memories of things. That's fine, operating in this level of consciousness. But when we transcend this level of consciousness in which we normally exist, then we need to go through a process of forgetting. That's an important part of that. Forgetting is an important part of the process of actually transcending and moving from one state of consciousness to another. That's why we don't have recall and memories much of our dreams. As I say, we get little snippets. We'll remember, and possibly we may even remember for years or the rest of our life some very, very vivid dreams that we've had, because they've been so profound. So we can only imagine the realms and the dimensions through which we might travel in our sleep and in our dreams. And of course we go to another state, in the deep dreamless state, and Turiya, that fourth state, which is even beyond the dream state, which can be accessed from our consciousness as we go through the different states of, we understand now, the brainwave states, sort of the beta, the alpha, the gamma and the theta, stages of consciousness. We can actually reach that state, which is known as the fourth, through actually transcending this normal consciousness, this everyday consciousness in which we interact with one another. But the forgetting part is the point that I want to establish with you, is we can't take all the baggage. This life has got so much baggage, we've got so much that we pick up along the way. We've got so many stories. We've got this ego that we create for ourselves, which is literally like a character in a play. We're not born with that ego. We develop that ego as we go through life. We develop this character that we have. Some of us may even change character halfway through and think, I'm going to be somebody else now. I'm going to recreate myself. Actors do it all the time. Musicians do it. People in show business, they create a new persona for themselves. Celebrities may take on a stage name and a new character that they play. They may fully immerse themselves in it. But all of this is the baggage and the trappings of everyday life in this particular incarnation, in this particular part that we're playing for this particular take on existence, if you like. We are windows through which the divine is looking. Our true self, what the yogis call the Brahman, is looking out through the windows of this existence and taking this in, playing this part that we are now playing in this game of life that we are actually living at this time. But we know that the true self, which transcends time, space, this existence, this body, this mind, this soul, if you like, we know that we are united. We are part of one united, bigger consciousness. But in order for us to connect with what's outside of this, we have to go and transcend that and move through to one of those other phases of existence that there are out there. So when you sit down to meditate, just remember that in order for you to get really deep in that, whatever your particular tradition of meditation, there is a point at which we have to literally forget. We may be aware of things that are going on around us. We may have an awareness of them. We don't necessarily clear every thought out of our minds, but we allow thoughts to pass through our minds rather like clouds passing that clear blue sky. But we can be aware of them, but we are not connected to them, and then we reach that state where we lose all connection with this present life, consciousness, everyday conscious state, and we actually move from that to deeper states. And it's very necessary for us to pass through that phase of forgetting. That's why I always say, if you've got any particular worries, concerns, or things that are troubling you in your mind at that point when you sit down to meditation, put them, as it were, on an imaginary shelf at the side of you. Leave them there, leave them on one side, because though you will come back to them, and though you may forget all of these things for that time, you will come back and you will return to your normal life, rather like when you go to sleep and you dream. But when you return back to this state of consciousness again, of course everything in your life returns and you remember it. It's not like you have complete amnesia and you forget everything that's been going on and exists. You will actually return back to a normal waking state, and you will remember all of those things. Our mind and the thoughts that bombard us constantly, and the things that try to capture our attention, will tell us that we need to fix our mind on these things and not forget them. Not forget them, because they're so important, and it's so necessary for us to keep these things in our mind. But this is exactly what drives us to distraction. This is what causes anxiety. This is what causes stress. This is what causes depression. Not losing things from the past. And anxiety, not allowing ourselves to detach from the things that we believe might, or we are planning to do in the future, or that we think are coming towards us from the future. The truth is, the only real state in this conscious waking state from which I'm speaking to you is this moment now. This moment now. And as I'm speaking to you now, it is now. Now is the moment. And if you're hearing this, maybe I'm hoping that it's making some sense to you, but just know that this is now. And even though I'm speaking to you, as it were, as it seems, from the past, no, I am here with you now, speaking to you now in this present moment. Hear what the universe is saying to you. You can break out of this simple existence, if only for a time. It doesn't have to be when you're asleep. You can sit down and meditate. You can press the reset button, and then you can return back with a fresh understanding, a fresh take on everything, and you will see clearly. You'll pinpoint the very spot that you need to hit and pinpoint of clarity, with maybe the wisdom that you need for the next moment, the next step you need to take. Or maybe you've been blinkered and seeing a small part and not seeing the peripheral view. It will take the blinkers off. You will be able to see the big picture once you have allowed yourself to enter into that truly deeper meditative state. So it's not just about leaving this earth, blasting off, lifting off, levitating on a magic carpet and disappearing somewhere over the horizon. It's about pressing the reset button. It's about sitting and forgetting. And then it's about returning back, but with a fresh viewpoint, a fresh perspective on what this particular incarnation, this particular life is about. And everything about this life is a schoolroom. We're learning every day new things. I'm learning new things every day. You're learning new things every day. We just need to see clearly what it is that we're seeing and we're experiencing. So yeah, forgetting can be good. Namaskaram.